Good morning, warriors, and welcome to Morning Adrenaline. Today is Monday, January 12th, 2026. I hope you're awake. Last week, we covered 5 full days of a high value human series from point A, what is a high value human, all the way through Friday, the 5th day, which is how step by step a roadmap to become a high value human. Today, we're going to get into a very deep, important, and what I think is an absolutely necessary conversation we need to have with ourselves about who we are. And so I'm going to go a little bit deep with you today. I hope you're ready, but I think you're going to be excited about this topic once we're finished with today. You may not understand at the beginning, but once we're finished, I think you're going to see some real clarity about who you are as a person. I want to start, though, with a story that stopped me in my tracks last week. So for those of you that know me, I work out every single morning, Monday through Friday, I should say. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, I work out every single morning for about an hour and a half, do an hour of strength training, 30 minutes of cardio, and 25 minutes I sit in the sauna. And the sauna is my opportunity during the day. It's like my therapy session. It's my opportunity to sit with myself quietly and listen to something that feeds my mind really well. And so I listen to motivational videos is what I choose to do. I'll listen to things like Motiversity. I'll listen to faith-based things that inspire me. And so last Friday, I watched a video about a pilot who had a real life death experience. Follow that, a real life death experience in the 1960s, where he and a co-pilot had a plane crash. And here's what he described. And I'm not going to go really deep because it's an hour-long video and he goes really deep. But I'm going to give you the gist of it, the important stuff. And that is, he describes floating above his body while he's watching doctors work on him. So think about this. He's watching his body lie there, lifeless, but he's still fully aware of what's happening. So like I said, it's a really long story. That's just like a very simplified part of my takeaway anyway from that. But there's hundreds, if not thousands, of stories like this. And I encourage you to, by the way, to go seek and watch those, because it's going to change how you move and certainly probably change how you view faith. But what shook me wasn't so much the detail, it was the clarity. It wasn't his body. Let me say that differently. He wasn't his body. His body was something he left behind. Which brings us to a phrase we repeat without ever questioning it. My body is my temple. Is it? Or is that just something we say because it sounds reasonable? So today, let's find out. Here's the question I want you to sit with today as we unpack. Are you with the masses on this? Or are you willing to think deeper? Do you believe your body is your temple? Or have we misunderstood this entirely? So we're going to dive into 3 layers today. Layer 1, the body, 2, the mind, and 3, the soul. And by the end, I believe you'll have more clarity on the answer. So let's start with the body. Your body does tell me a lot about you. It's just not what some people think. Your body tells me how disciplined you are in the gym and at the dinner table, how consistently you follow through when motivation fails, how you treat structure, routine, and standards, how comfortable you are being uncomfortable, your energy levels, not just physically, by the way, but mentally, how seriously you take self-responsibility. So I think we probably agree you can tell a lot about a person by how they take care of their body. Not everything, but a lot. Think of it like this. If you wrote a story about your body, it would include how often you keep promises to yourself, whether you respect long-term outcomes over short-term comfort, whether you lead yourself or negotiate with excuses. See, your body is evidence. It's a receipt of your habits. Now, let me be very clear about something. Taking care of your body matters. Your body is the vessel that carries you through life. Your health impacts your longevity. Your energy determines how fully you can live your purpose. So keeping alcohol, drugs, sugar, cigarettes, ultra-processed foods away from it is key to living a longer, more full life. We know this. A neglected body shortens your runway. A strong body extends your ability to serve, lead, and execute. But importance doesn't equal authority. So here's the distinction that matters. The body is not the source. The body responds to the signal. Discipline doesn't come from the body. Hard work doesn't originate in the body. Consistency does not live in the body. The body is flesh, nothing more. It doesn't decide, it doesn't negotiate, it doesn't choose purpose. The body is simply there to execute. Another way to think of it is the body is the vehicle, not the command center. A strong body is impressive. I understand the difficulty to keep your body in shape, the difficulty of fitness. But a strong body without a disciplined mind is doomed to be temporary. That's why people get results and then they lose them. That's why you find your motivation spiking and then it collapses. That's why transformation fails when it's built on willpower all by itself. Have you ever heard me talk about Fat Boy Fit? Fat Boy Fit is the guy in the gym that you know he works out. He looks strong. He's muscular. Like he's solid, but he's carrying a ton of body fat. Fat Boy Fit is the guy that has discipline in the gym, but not at the dinner table. So what does all of this mean? Your body doesn't lead your life. It reveals a mini story about how your life is being led. And this is why, to me, my opinion, you could draw your own at the end, that saying your body is your temple sounds deep, but I would actually argue that that is a lazy way to think about it. Because a temple isn't the thing that does the work. A temple houses what matters. Your body doesn't house your identity. Your body doesn't house your purpose. Your body doesn't house values, your character, your integrity. Your body simply responds to them. So let me give you a hypothetical to make this unmistakably clear. Two interns are competing for a full-time job opening. One has the perfect physique, really, really stacked. Great body, lean, looks disciplined on the surface. But the moment pressure hits at the office, they fold. They quit when it's convenient. They avoid responsibility when it costs comfort. Now, intern number 2 has an average physique, but they show up every day. They keep their promises. They handle pressure really well. They do what needs to be done when no one is watching. They're leading themselves, which is what I call an HVE, a high value employee. See, high value isn't about muscle. It's not built in muscle. It's not muscle alone. It's built in what the body's trained to obey. Now, before we go any further, we need to clarify something about fitness itself. Most people think fitness is only about the body, and it's not. Yes, fitness, as we talked about, helps you stay healthy. It helps you live longer. We know this. But fitness, in my opinion, is far more important for the mind than it is for the body. Because the biggest benefits of fitness are not physical, they're mental. Fitness gives you energy, it gives you focus, it gives you confidence and clarity, emotional stability, stress tolerance, discipline, and ultimately you build momentum through what fitness does in your mind. See, these aren't body functions, they're mind functions. Your muscles don't create confidence, your lungs don't create clarity, and your abs don't create discipline. Your mind does. And fitness is one of the fastest ways to train the mind to lead. So fitness is not all about how you look, it's about building mental toughness and physical resilience all at the same time. That's why high performers train even when they don't feel like it. That's why discipline in the gym often shows up as discipline in business. That's why people who stop training often lose focus everywhere else. When the body trains under structure, the mind learns authority. So fitness teaches the mind how to override comfort, how to follow structure, how to finish what it starts, and how to perform under resistance. So that's why fitness correlates so strongly with success, not because of aesthetics. Did I say that right? Not because of aesthetics, but because it conditions the mind to lead the flesh. And once the mind leads the flesh, everything else becomes easier to command. Now, with all that said, let's expand on the importance of your mind health. First, we need to clear something up. The brain is flesh. It's part of the body. The mind is not the brain. Think of it like your brain is hardware and your mind is the software. The brain receives signals, the mind interprets them. The brain reacts, the mind decides. So if the body is the vehicle, the mind is the team that built and designed it, and the command center that runs it. So this is why you hear the term mind over flesh, because flesh wants comfort, flesh wants pleasure, flesh wants relief, and flesh always quits. The mind either commands the flesh or surrenders to it. So here's what that looks like in real life. Your body is sore, your muscles are tight, your energy feels low, your body says no. But you still power through the workout. Why? Because discipline doesn't live in the body, it lives in the mind. The body recognizes pain, the mind recognizes structure, discipline, gritty, which is motivated discipline. The body negotiates, the mind executes. When your mind is programmed for discipline, no is not an option. It's simply feedback. So that's why elite performers don't rely on motivation. They rely on mental programming of what I call, again, the word gritty or motivated discipline. And so what determines that programming? What you feed your mind. Your mind processes whatever you give it and turns it into outcomes. So your mind, or what you feed your mind, determines how you handle pressure, how you interpret failure, how long you stay disciplined, how quickly you quit when things got hard, and even how you speak to yourself when no one's listening. It's the programming device for your habits, your tolerance for discomfort, your standards, and your behavioral patterns. So this is why discipline doesn't start in the gym. It starts in thought. The body simply carries out what the mind has already agreed to. Your body and every other aspect of your life, by the way, is the result of conversations you've already had in your mind. So here's what most people miss. If you don't protect your mind, you can't protect your body. If you don't protect your mind, you cannot build discipline. If you don't protect your mind, you cannot build a high-value human identity. It is impossible, because what goes into the mind always leaks out through your tone, through your posture, through your reactions, through your presence, through your energy. People don't just see your body, they feel your mind at work. See, your mind doesn't just process information, it broadcasts to everyone around you who you're becoming or who you're being in that moment. But here's the key distinction, and this matters. The mind is powerful, but the mind is still not who you are. The mind is just a processor, a builder, and a translator. It takes in information and it uses it to build or to break down? To break down what? Build or break down what? Your body and your soul. That's why feeding your mind intentionally is a non-negotiable for high-value humans that want to build success. They want to build a valuable life. Garbage in doesn't mean bad thoughts. We're really talking about what you scroll on social media, what videos you watch, what you listen to, what you allow to influence you, what conversations you entertain, high value or low value. So what you're feeding your mind every single day is it building you or is it breaking you? So now we get to the soul. And this is where everything important lives. Your soul is where your character lives. Your integrity shines, your confidence grows, your identity reveals itself, your purpose moves, and you surrender to faith. Here's the reality most people avoid and fear thinking about. One day, your body will be buried 6 feet under. It'll rot, it'll decay, and it will return to dust. The Bible actually makes this distinction very clear. It says there are things that can destroy the body, but not the soul, which should tell you immediately where the real value lies. So our pilot story certainly confirms the soul outlives the body. So I hope your body is not your identity. Remember, I'm not saying don't take care of your body. Of course you should. It's the vessel. You want it strong. You want it built to last. But your body does not survive you. Your soul does. And when everything else is gone, titles, money, appearance, possessions, achievements, your soul is what remains. People say things like, you have heart, or that person has a good heart. But let's be clear on what they're saying. Your heart is an organ. It's part of your body. Its job is to pump blood and keep the body alive. That's it. So when people talk about your heart, they're not talking about biology. They're talking about your soul. They're talking about your courage, your compassion, your conviction, your resilience, your moral center. They're describing the core of who you are, not the muscle in your chest. When someone says you have heart, what they're really saying is your soul is strong. Look, your body may attract temporarily. Your soul determines whether the attraction stays. You've lived this. You've been attracted to someone before. You liked their look, their confidence, their presence, their smile. Let's be honest, their body. And then you met them. And within minutes, something felt off. You didn't run from their body or their looks. You ran from their soul. The core of who they were came out really quickly. Because people don't experience the real version of you simply by how you look. They experience your energy. They experience your presence. Do you give a sense of peace or chaos? Are you a person of integrity or insecurity? They experience your kindness and your ability to listen or not without distraction. People don't remember what you look like as much as how you made them feel. That's the soul at work. The soul is the essence of who you are. It's what people sense when you walk into a room. It's what shows up. It's what shows up when pressure hits. It's what remains when no one else is watching. And so here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't fake soul for long. eventually your character reveals itself. Integrity exposes itself. Your purpose becomes obvious, or your lack thereof. And again, your faith or lack thereof, it shows up. And this is why confidence that comes from the soul is different. It's not loud. It's not arrogant. It's not performative. It's stable. Real confidence doesn't demand attention. It commands respect. So your mind plays a role here. Your mind processes what you feed it and builds the framework of your soul. Your body plays a role too. Your body executes what the mind commands and displays what the soul contains. But neither of them are the core. The soul is. When your life ends, we know where your body goes. Where your soul goes is between you and God. But I would encourage you to do something. Listen to death and brought back to life experiences. They're easy to find. Listen to people from different backgrounds with different worldly belief systems and see what they say. You'll find hundreds, if not thousands, of stories on YouTube, on podcasts, and wherever else you might find them that say similar things. When people die, they leave the body. They observe their own death and their body from the outside. And what they're experiencing is something beyond flesh. And that should tell you something. Your body is not the real you. When you're gone, here's what you can be sure of. Your body executed, your mind programmed, your soul revealed who you truly were. Which leads us to the final question. If the body decays, if the mind processes, and if the soul survives, then tell me, do you still think your body is your temple? Or is your soul the only thing worthy of that title? Think about it this way. Your body is a car. Your mind is the team that built and tuned it for performance, and your soul is the brand. So here's the question. Would you drive a beautiful car that handles terribly, that breaks down constantly? Of course not. Because we don't buy cars for looks alone. We buy them for performance, reliability, and reputation. That's exactly how people experience you. They know if you are a quality brand or not. They're not judging your body first, they're experiencing your soul. Saying your body is your temple sounds responsible, but when you really think about it, it makes no sense if your body's just a vessel and your mind was the builder. Then that leaves us with one conclusion. Your soul is the temple. So I'll ask you one last time. Do you still think your body is your temple? Or are you willing to admit that what you feed your mind, what you build internally, and how you live when no one's watching, and who you are at your core matters far more than the shell you're walking around in? Because the body always follows the mind, and the mind always reveals the soul. If you want to change your body, start with your mind. If you want to change your life, build your soul. Work your body, feed your mind, build your soul. Wake up, warrior. Let's be productive today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Stuck in your mind.